Welcome to the live feed. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for our Hatha Yoga class. And in today's class, we will begin in standing. So have the feet nice and parallel. Lengthen and spread the toes. Drop the tail a little bit. Work the core in and feel that the chest is broad. And the shoulders are back down, just a tad. Take some deep breath and continue. More deep breath. So it's not natural for you just to get right into the breath. You can add just a little more volume each round, smoothing out the exhale, and then breathing a little deeper. And then eventually you get to the place where you're breathing your full, complete breath. And when you train the breath, eventually you're breathing with awareness, even when you're not practicing yoga. So breath awareness just becomes part of your habitual practice. And so you might be getting ready for class and already starting the breath. But if you haven't done that yet, we start the class with the breath. We understand that the breath comes and goes. You lose your focus a little bit, especially if you're having a little bit of a difficult time, you're fatigued mentally, or you're just newer to practice. It's understandable. But you want to realign consistently. And the more you do that, the less you'll need to do that over time. So realign the breath. Take rest anytime to stay with the breath. And we'll continue using a nice rhythmic breath for a warm-up. So lifting the arms just a little bit and twisting side to side. The classes we do always range. They're different, but the warm-ups often are very similar. And it's a good thing, even though it's monotonous, to learn the warm-up so thoroughly that you'll be able to do them on your own. So when there's days where you might not have access to the internet or a class, you can still do a little warm-up, loosening up for the spine, a couple stretches for the hips and hamstrings. And those little practices, they really go a long ways. It's good to cultivate your own ability to sequence and practice with or without an instructor. When you're done with both sides, side to side, we'll switch to shoulder rolls, looping out the shoulders and continuing with that nice breath. Now, taking both directions. And then rolling the wrists. Getting the little crispy crunchies out of the wrists and doing both directions. Yeah. Hips. Both directions. Feet together, knees. And both directions. And stand tall, arms lift, and weave the fingers together, push up through the palms, and bend and extend the arms. And arms relax. And feet go a little wider than the hips. And we'll do a little squat, see how that feels. We'll do a few more squats deep if it feels okay, halfway or just a tiny bit if your knees are back sore. And it's not, the squat holding is a traditional pose. This is not really a traditional yoga sequence, but it's great for blood flow in the legs, which is really good, especially if you have a desk job. And it's good just to warm up so we feel ready for deeper, longer held stretches. Good. Let's come back to center. And again, arms overhead. Weave the opposite finger forward if you can remember that. If you can't, that's fine. But see if you can feel what feels different. Do that opposite finger. And stretch side to side. Very good. Relaxing the arms. And taking half sun salutations. Have a flat back, importantly, when you come up. And that may mean bending the knees and bracing with the hands. And if you can keep the back flat without bending the knees, that means your hamstrings are quite flexible. And if you're not able to do that, don't worry, modify as needed, stay in the flow, practice in a healthy way. The flat back is healthier for your discs and makes your core stronger, making those muscles more activated, supporting those bones and joints. And next time the hands touch down, we'll take our first dog stretch. Pressing into the hands and lifting the hips high. Child's pose. Remembering we can always rest in child anytime you need extra rest. And come on up to sitting or kneeling. Big step up with the right foot. Runner's pose. So you have the knees right above the heel. That's perfect form. You want to work on that and work on lifting the chest. And then take raised runner, lengthening the back leg. And hold here, working on, again, lengthening the spine as well as the leg muscles. And exhale, downward dog. And kneeling, taking the left foot up, runner, knee right above the heel or ankle, and lengthening the spine. Deep breath. And lengthen the back leg. And exhale, downward dog. And walk or jump to the top of the mat. Take a half lift and a full fold. Straight back lift. Arms lift. Arms relax. And inhale. Arms lift. And exhale, plank pose. Holding the plank and working on the form. Slightly rounded back, active legs, lifting out of the shoulders, wrists under the shoulders or slightly forward. Breathing. And knees down, lower all the way. Inhale, easy cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, easy cobra. And then using the arms for more of a full cobra. Keep the elbows bent. And exhale, lower. Use the core and lift. Push into the legs. Downward dog. And knees down. Let's go ahead and turn to the side and walk or hop the feet apart. Hands come further forward. Deep breath. And then bring the hands further back. And put a bend in the knees. Let's go ahead and stand on up. And open up the right foot and turn the back foot in. Triangle pose. You see how I'm not reaching really low, and that helps you to keep the chest open more. And then you can take the arm behind the back to really emphasize stretching open in the chest and shoulders. Deep breath. Come on up and take warrior two. Practice side angles pose, elbow to thigh or fingertip to ground. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Turn the back foot in, open up the opposite foot, and take triangle, not reaching super low, keeping the chest open, spreading the toes. Deep breath, and then triangle with the arm behind the back. A little bit more breath. Doing great. And come on up and take warrior two. Side angles. And if you like, fingertips to ground. Come on up. And hinge on down. Bring the hand to the right side and stretch there. If your hamstring's really tight, bend the knee, otherwise both legs long. Deep, deep breath. Other side. And come back to center. Bend the knees and come on up. And slowly walk together until you can lightly come to the top of the mat. Inhale, forward salute. Exhale, plank pose. If you'd like to go right to down dog, feel free. Otherwise, you can work through a little back bend flow, cobra or upward dog. Downward dog. Yeah. Kneeling down, big step up, right side, runner, and then take a crescent. So you can just do raise runner holding the knee if you need, otherwise arms come up. And you sit low into the hips and the back leg. Deep breath. Exhale. Downward dog. And then kneeling. Left foot steps up. Crescent lunge. You can hold the knee if you need, otherwise arms up. Back leg strong. Deep breath. And exhale, downward dog. Kneeling down, turning to the side one more time. Walk or hop the feet apart. And then bring the hands to the ankles, or keep the hands under the shoulders if you prefer. Come back to center. Put a bend in the knees. And come on up. Open the arms and the right foot again. Take warrior two to warrior lift. Keep the right knee angling open. And then take side angle. Back to warrior two. And switching sides. Make sure you really open the foot so that the knee can open. Warrior two. Back leg strong. Warrior lift. Neutral vertical lift. Abdomen in. Keep the core in. Take side angle. Opening the chest. And come back to warrior two. Breathing. And let it all relax. And slowly walk together until you can very lightly step together. Stretching the right thigh. You can hold on to the wall if you need to. And you want to hug the knees in if you can. You can hold the hip, the wall, or have the arm up. Nice. Let's go ahead and switch legs. No need to rush. Hold on to something, especially if you're losing the balance. Good, and just relax. Now let's do a sustained squat. If you can't squat because your knees hurt, then you can do a seated butterfly or any hip stretch that you know works for you, feels good. Hanging out in the squat, lengthening the spine, taking 5 deep breaths here. Very good. Go ahead and sit, switch to hands and knees facing normal direction, and then extending the right leg, Lift just hip height and then flexing the hamstring with the ankle above the knee. And switch sides. Release. Let's go ahead and lower face down. Take the left arm overhead and stretch the right thigh half frog. Very good. Let's go ahead and switch sides. And release. And let's take a nice Sphinx pose and emphasize opening in the chest. And release. Use the core and lift. Exhale, downward dog. Next, we're going to sit in a Saddle pose. So you sit with the legs a little bit wide. If the knees hurt, you can sit on a block. And if you really need, you can just sit with the legs out. We're going to do kind of a fish combined with a sort of a tortoise position of the legs, or what they call saddle pose in the yin yoga. So fingertips on the ground and then puff out the chest. And if it feels good, you take the head back, but only if your chest is really opening. Otherwise, you're just going to crunch the neck. Take deep breath. See how this feels. Nice. Let's switch to doing a basic bridge. So you can bring the legs out in front. Feet parallel, about as wide as the hips. Hands pretty far back and lift. Maybe just a little bit. And eventually lift till you're like a tabletop and open the chest and stretch deep into those shoulders. Very good. Let's sit on down and switch back to a nice downward dog. And either stay here, or if you'd like, you can work through a cobra or an upward dog. Taking a moment to open the chest. And gliding back to down dog. Next, we're going to do the camel pose. So come into a seated posture with the legs wide. And again, if your knees hurt, sit on a block. If you don't like doing the full camel, you can do what we did before, where you just arch kind of like a fish with the legs in a seated posture. Otherwise, hold the heels, use the core, gradually lift, maybe come on the fingertips, and then if you feel more open, you can dig the heels into the palms. Only take the head back if the shoulder blades are coming together a bit. Your chest is very open, so the heart leads and the head follows. Deep breath. And release gradually. Come back to plank, and then use plank to stabilize the low back, having a flat or rounded back. And exhale, hover. And lower face down. Hands a little higher and wider. Inhale to a cobra and see how that feels. Exhale, release. And again, hands either can be higher and wider, or if you feel open, hands further back. And now we're going to do a longer hold in cobra. Do a shorter hold if you prefer. You can do a very long hold if you like. Otherwise, a good solid 5 breaths should feel nice. Taking some time to open the chest and stretch the solar plex. Let's go ahead and adjust and take a nice downward dog. Very good. Let's go ahead and kneel. And then gently sit and bring the legs out to the side and switch to a nice straddle pose. Rolling the thighs back, sitting tall, and bringing the arms up. And stretching to the right leg. And you can eventually hold a little further on the leg, and eventually both hands or just one hand to foot. Deep breath. Other side. And when you're ready, come back to center and we'll switch to a nice cross-legged seat. Sitting bones back. You may want to sit on a towel or a blanket if you need to for your hips and knees. And we'll do some fast breathing through the nose, fire breath. Exhale fully. Normal breathing. Nice deep breathing. And switch. Having the opposite leg in front. And let's go ahead and sit with the eyes closed for about a minute. Just a little bit of quiet time. Closing the eyes, breathing smoothly, and taking time just to be. Come on back to the body. And let's go ahead and transition to a nice diamond stretch. So we'll bring the feet forward, pretty far forward, feet together, hips back, and stretching and relaxing down the back of the neck. Nice deep breath. And release. And take knees to chest. From knees to chest, we'll take happy baby, just like squat upside down. If squat's a pose that's hard for you, doing this will really help prepare you for it. This could be a modification for it too. But just on its own, this is a really lovely pose. So enjoy. Work on widening the groin, lengthening the neck, softening the shoulders, breathing. And feet to the ground, feet together, knees widen, and breathe. If you have a pinch in your low back, try a blanket under the feet and arrange the arms any way it feels really good for you. Enjoy how gravity just does the work for you. The hips become a little bit more flexible with each exhale, and all you do is lay there, receiving the benefits. And knees lift, exhale, knees to chest, arms open, legs to left, right shoulder to ground. Deep breath. Other side.
And when you're done with both sides, take a nice Shavasana, resting, softening the breath, and taking time just to be.
Let's go ahead and deepen the breath and gradually come back to the body. Transition the knees to chest and then a comfortable seat. Sit upright with the legs in a position that feel good for you. Let's do a clearing breath in the 3 O's. Breathing in, open mouth, let it out. And then inhale for Om. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. Classes are for donation on a weekly basis, and they're live feeds, but they get saved. So if you're watching this later after the live feed, you can watch any of the saved ones and click. All of them have a link below. Send a PayPal or Venmo, um, And if you are not able to send much, don't worry about it. Send a little bit or just share stuff with your friends. If you're doing well, then donate accordingly, and all is appreciated. So it also helps to get a positive like, comment, subscribe if you haven't yet. There's a notification bell if you want to receive updates as to when there's new videos, new live feeds. And we'll keep it going with the virtual online yoga. So thank you again. This has been our weekly Hatha Yoga class. We're doing Vinyasa on Saturday, and I'm doing some live classes outside in local parks and beaches in Santa Cruz. So if you're in the area and you want to do a live class, check out my website, gabrielbenjaminyoga.com, and we can maybe meet for a nice physically distanced, adjustment-free, no adjustments, adjustments are canceled, adjustment-free class. And otherwise, we will continue practicing online. So take care, stay healthy, be good to yourself and those around you. Drink water. I'm drinking water out of a wine glass because I'm fancy. All right, leading by example. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy. Ciao.